shouldn't be hard. Life should be a fun-filled adventure every day. So now start joining up dots. Tap into your talents, your skills, your God-given gifts, and tell your boss, you don't deserve me. I'm out of here. It's time for you to smash that alarm clock and start getting the dream business and life you, well, of course, are dreaming of. Let's join your host, David Ralph, from the back of his garden in the UK, or wherever he might be today, with another jammed-packed episode of the #1 hit podcast, Join Up Dots.
Yes, hello there, good morning, and of course, welcome to, go on, you know it, Join Up Dots. Yeah, it's the old Join Up Dots show. You all right? Everyone all right out there? You're sitting in your cars, you're on your cubicle, you're on the train. It's funny, I saw somebody walking along the road the other day, and I said to my daughter, do you know, every time I see somebody walking along with headphones on, I ponder, are they listening to me? And she said to me, of course they're not listening to you, Dad. And I said, you don't know that. She said, what is the chances? But it could happen, couldn't it? It could happen with a global audience like mine. So if you are walking along listening to Join Up Dots, just look around and see if a sexy looking middle-aged guy, well, I'm 50, coming up 52 now, is that middle-age? 104? Yeah, I suppose that's bang on middle-age, isn't it? You know, in the old days, it would have been 36, 40 and stuff was middle-aged. But no, I'm accepting it. I'm accepting I am what I am. So how is life in your world? I'll tell you what I'm doing at the moment. Oh, I've got so much to tell you. But I go through phases every now and again of being really busy and really productive. And then I think, no, this is just doing stuff for the sake of it. Let's try to be really quiet and strategic. And so I bought a book by Johann Kari, I think his name is, called Stolen Focus. I might have mentioned it on another show. Anyhow, I'm up to chapter 5 now, and I'm reading it every day. And it's all about our inability to actually keep our mind on one thing. And I started to notice little by little I was getting an issue. Certainly in the evening, if I sat down and I'd look at a film at hour and a half, 2 hours, I can't be bothered. So I started just flicking through like 4.5 minute sort of YouTube videos, and then I was getting like halfway through a 4-minute video and thinking, I'll just have something else, and I started to realise this was creeping into my life. So I'm back into trying to make my business and my life as quiet as possible without getting online at all. So really being focused about why I'm turning on my computer, why I'm looking at a website, and if it's not something that is, you know, important to me, I'm trying to switch off from it. And it's interesting how little you need it. I certainly... You fall into habits. You fall into habits of doing certain things. And I'm starting to see that a lot of those habits that I was falling into was just things to kill time more than being productive. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible and just doing what needs to be done. Also, exciting news. What's my exciting news jingle? I haven't really got one. This one. Not really exciting news because you're getting a round of applause before I've actually said it. But I am now, and this is official, I'm now Lord David Ralph. Yes. At Christmas, I forgot to tell you this, at Christmas, and there's a backstory to this, my kids decided to buy me a title. So they bought a plot of land up in the north of England in Cumbria. And it's about 5 feet square or something, and I can go and visit this plot of land, but it comes with a title, and so I'm now officially Lord David Ralph, and I can change my bank account details, I can change everything. I'm not sure about passports actually, maybe that's not, but everything else I can have Lord on. I'm officially Lord David Ralph. And I said to my daughter, I said, why did you do this? She said, well, you know when I want to do something in the house and I say you're not God and when you go, in this house, I'm God. She said, I want to downgrade you. And that was the nearest I could get. And then I go even further until you're my slave. So, yeah, I've been downgraded from God to Lord. But that's all right. You can bow, you can curtsy, you can look in my direction and wonder how it's all gone so well. It's all gone so well for us. Anyway, what I thought I'd do today, I've got this book called The Rules to Break. And I was flicking through it the other day, and I'm a great rule breaker. If somebody says that I can't do something, I always say, what are they going to do, arrest me? They never do. But there's a lot of rules out there that are kind of mental rules, or there's things that our mums have said to us or our dads have said to us, which are kind of like written in our brains somehow. We've been sort of programmed. So there's this book called The Rules to Break, and I thought I'd start bringing you a little section of it every now and again. Okay, so I flicked through randomly, and I got to page 27. And this is one of those things that we get told all the time, especially from parents. If you don't like it, tough. Just suck it up. Life is not easy. Just deal with it. And you hear this all the time, that people sort of say that they're unhappy with their job or their university or their relationship, whatever. People are always moaning that they're unhappy with something, but they can't do anything about it. Oh, I'd love to do this, but I'm stuck with it. Oh, and you might as well have said it yourself. And the problem with this attitude is that actually, at its core, it's you being a victim. You have no control over your circumstances, and you just simply have to put up with whatever fate has thrown at you. Now, the problem with this, if you take this attitude, then it's hardly surprising if you feel then miserable, anxious and trapped. And somebody was telling me the other day, or no, it was the book I was reading, and he was talking about how mind wandering, when your mind just wanders, is brilliant, but only when you're in a sort of happy, relaxed state. So when you're on holiday and you're just floating around, mind wandering and daydreaming is brilliant, because you're just kind of thinking about the happy things that is going on in your life. But when you're very stressed, or you're anxious, or you're paranoid, or you're negative, and mind wandering comes in, you then start focusing in on the bad things on your life, and it becomes a torture. Okay, and so you've really got to be aware of your state of mind. And if you're feeling miserable, anxious or trapped, and who wouldn't, because we all go through there's really nothing you can't do to sort of get yourself away from the thing that's making you so unhappy, that's immensely frustrating. You can do it. Now, you're going to say there isn't an alternative, and that's very rarely the case, unless you're in prison, for example, or caught in a kind of sort of poverty trap that is relatively unusual, at least in the West, and in which case you're not likely to be reading the book that I'm reading, or listening to this podcast, or tuning into the internet. Okay, actually, there's almost always an alternative. Now, let's go back to the courses. You could always switch courses. You could always stop halfway through. I was doing a Oracle Relationship Database Management course back about 10 years ago, procedural language and SQL. And I had an Indian guy. He was a very nice guy. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Really couldn't. And I'd look around at everybody else, and I was all writing and scribbling, and to me it was indecipherable. I just didn't have a clue. And so I paid quite a lot of money for this course, and then after the first week I had to go and say, look, I can't do this. I can't understand the person. I know he's speaking English, but it's not the kind of English that I understand. And so I made a decision, and I swapped the course. Now, you could do that in anything. You could quit your job, you could move house, you could work on the relationship to try to make it better, or just sort of end it and get rid of the car. If you're feeling trapped, I recommend you think carefully about your options. Now, I have a friend whose daughter went to a new school at 16, and after a few months she was really unhappy and felt trapped on a course she wasn't enjoying, as we were saying, because she wanted the qualifications at the end of it. That's all she wanted, and it was a means to an end. The teaching was fine at her school, but she didn't fit in well socially and wasn't making any close friends. And so she decided to go and look around the college in a nearby town. And she found out about transport to get there and asked about available courses and how she would swap over. And she discovered that it was actually possible to change courses. The travel would take longer, but otherwise it would be fine. And the more she thought about it, the more she realised that actually she was okay where she was. The teaching was good, the school was close, which was important, and all in all, she just didn't want to risk changing, and she decided to stay where she was. So she concentrated on existing friendships outside school and treated her course as a place to work rather than socialise. So she ended up doing exactly the same as before, but she kind of changed her mindset, and she was now happy doing it. And why? Because she was choosing to stay there rather than feeling trapped. She was taking control of her life, and it was an active decision to stay put. Now, my son, he works in a pub down the road, and the other day he was moaning and groaning about 3 months ago, and it's literally you step out of our house and 2 minutes later he's at work. And I said to him, we'll get another job. And he said, oh, there's no other jobs anywhere. I said, of course there are. There's thousands of pub jobs, because he's at university at the moment. He doesn't want a full-time career. I said to him, just go off to a supermarket or something. Oh, no, I'll just have to put up with it. I said, you don't have to put up with anything. You can just go down there and, ask for different responsibilities, open your mouth and, and see what happens. And then about a day later, a young lady came in called Regan, who my son went, doing, and she doinged back, and now they're together, and he scampers down there because it's not just a job, but he gets to see his girlfriend as well. And it's exactly the same place, it's exactly the same work, it's just that his viewpoint on it has changed. Okay, so you should consider all your options if you feel like you're stuck and life is crap, and you may end up back where you started. But if you stop playing the victim and put yourself in control instead, or just change your outlook by actively looking at the alternatives, you should find you're much more ready to appreciate what you already have. Or, of course, you might end up making changes to your life, and that's fine too. Just don't moan that you have no choice, that you're stuck, because that's almost never the case. Now, that rule was called If You Don't Like It, Tough. And at the bottom, it says, remember, you have a choice. And you do. If you're with a girlfriend or a partner and she's doing your head in, then I know it's not going to be easy to say, look, enough is enough, but you can do it. And you'll go through a period of transition. You'll go through a period of mourning, I suppose. But little by little, time heals and life moves on. And I've never stayed at the same job. I've stayed at jobs when I was bored, but I was being paid very well. And I thought, this is all right. I can put up with boredom. But when it's very, very tough, I'm out of here, as it says in the intro at the beginning. And you have got that choice as well. So look at it. If you're in a mortgage that's in a contract, can you swap your mortgage? Can you reduce your payments? Can you be proactive? Can you take control of your life and make it more how you want your life to be, instead of being like a twig on the mighty stream of life and just being flown or blown wherever you get taken? It's very, very important for you to start taking control, and it doesn't have to be big things. It just has to be things, and those controls build up, the dots build up, and then little by little you'll get to a point where the action is bigger and the rewards you're getting are bigger, and then you're really firing on all cylinders. Okay, so don't suck it up if it's tough. Look at your options and think, is there other ways of looking at this? Are there other ways of dealing with this? Or maybe I should just get the hell out of there. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Very short episode of Join Up Darts, and we're going to do some more of those. As I say, I try to think of viewpoints and different things that we can bring into the show. If you've got any ideas of what you'd like to see on the show, let us know at joinupdots@gmail.com. If you want to be a star of the show, leave a voicemail and we play you on the show. You don't have to say your name. We'd love that as well. And all you've got to do is come over to the homepage, joinupdots.com, and click leave a voice message, and then bang, you will be a star of the show. You can leave your questions, you can leave your points of view, you can leave your successes, you can leave your positivity, your action taking, whatever. is going on in your life, jump across and we can share it with the world, and your action could be the difference in somebody else's life. Really, really important. Give and receive. That's what it's about. I like to be a giver, and sometimes I might be a receiver. Who knows? Until next time, you look after yourselves, my friends, and stay sexy. Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. We'll be back again real soon. Join Up Dots, join up dots, join up dots, join up dots.